Welcome to another edition of Fight for Justice. We have a guest tonight that I'm going to introduce in a few minutes. It's on a topic that I think all of you would like to learn more about, Social Security benefits and all the ramifications that are present in that. But before I get to our guest and our topic for tonight, I want to go back and talk about something that we've talked about before, and that's whether or not you need to hire a lawyer when you have a personal injury case. Generally, we've said that if you have a small case, property damage only, probably not worth it. And most good lawyers who see that won't take it anyway. They'll help you, but they won't take the case. But just recently, to give you an example, and this is not true in every situation, of course, we have a case involving a trucking accident, a collision that occurred down in Oxford. And in first dealing with just the adjuster, we got a very low, pitiful offer, so we filed suit. And then the next offer that came out was 4.5 times what the adjuster wanted to pay, 4.5 times. And we're not finished yet. So that just tells the tale sometimes when you get a bad adjuster or you get one that doesn't fully understand the depths of the case. So more times than not, we think it's worth it. And if you have a good lawyer, he'll tell you when it's not. So that's the story I want to give to you. We've talked about it before, but that's a real live example of something just happened recently. Now, tonight we're not going to talk about personal injury or products liability or car accidents or anything else of that nature. We're going to change the subject a little bit because one of the purposes of our show is to educate and inform you about topics involving legal issues or things that are strictly legal matters that involve your pocketbook. Tonight we're going to talk about Social Security benefits, and there are many of them. And our guest tonight is Jose Ortiz, if I get that right?
Yes, sir.
And Jose, would you tell our audience a little bit about you, start with where you're from and how you got to Social Security and all of that sort of information?
I'm originally from Puerto Rico and came a Calhoun County resident for the last 25 years when I came from Texas, military veteran, and a federal employee, Social Security employee for the last 28 years. But out of those 28 years, 11 with Social Security.
And when did you join the Army? You were in the Army, weren't you?
Yes, sir. I was in the Army. I joined back in 1980 during that petroleum freeze that we had, and did the Cold War era in Europe, and ever since been proud of being a United States Army veteran.
And I think you said you've been in Anniston area for 11 years.
No, in the area I've been for 25 years.
What did you do before you joined Social Security?
Before I joined Social Security, I worked for the United States Army at Fort McClellan, and prior to that at Fort Bliss. And
Bliss, Texas.
Fort Bliss, Texas, correct.
What area were you in there?
I was in the finance and accounting office, which is customer service and paying our heroes as they're deserving through their payroll.
Okay. Now, when you joined Social Security, did you have to go through some educational process to learn about the nature of the job and the benefits that people look forward to and that sort of thing? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
During the hiring with Social Security, they do train you very, very hard to make sure that you reach out to the public and give them the correct information that they deserve to hear. We practically do a lot of online and telephonic requests for benefits, and also this is an ongoing training process because, of course, the law changes every day, so we have to be upbeat with the laws and regulations.
Okay, I know that Social Security began in what year?
Social Security was signed into law by FDR in 1937. And doing a little bit of research, there was the first payment ever made on Social Security was to a lady in,
I think it was in Vermont.
In Vermont.
1940, beginning of 1940.
In 1940, correct. And ever since, we've had the program, and it's helped a lot of our citizens in the United States.
Freeman, I know you did a little research on that issue. How much was her first payment, first recipient? How much a month?
She got the first payment, which I would assume would continue on, but the first payment that the lady received, I believe, was for $22.
$22. And today, roughly today, the minimum payment people get is in the range of what, Jose?
They're ranging
Minimum.
in minimum about $2,030 in ballpark figure.
Okay.
That's the most they could probably get. It could go up as the years go on, but I have not seen a check less than $1,000 really.
Yeah.
If you've worked through the years and you have reported your earnings like you're supposed to, that should add up. It does add up.
Now, Freeman, I know in your research you looked to see how many people are currently on Social Security. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
I believe the number was somewhere around 40 million just for the retirement benefits.
And the total?
For the total number, I think it was 57 or 58 million.
Yeah.
When you count disabled and then the children of people that are.
And then we've got a population in the U.S. of about over 300 million. So one of the problems Social Security has had since its inception is instead of having 15 or 20 people pay in, now we've gotten 3 to 4 or 5 people paying in for each recipient. And that has squeezed the benefits and squeezed the load. And I think I read recently, Jose, that Social Security benefits are projected to sort of lose their steam. They'll have enough money to pay it, 2024 or thereabouts.
That's what they're projecting. We hope that that changes with Congress and whatnot to finance or to fund the Social Security Administration, because, like you said, there's less people working, really. So.
Okay. Well, we're gonna have to break here in a second, but they're gonna have to raise taxes or lower benefits to make it balance out.
Absolutely.
No other choice, and they don't bite that bullet yet. So when we come back, we're going to talk about specific details of the Social Security plan that you probably have all wondered about. So we'll be back here in just a few seconds, or minutes really. Welcome back to the second segment of our show tonight. We're going to get a little more into Social Security benefits in depth. And Jose Ortiz is here. Hope I said that right. Ortiz, I can't get that right. Tell me what people called you when you first moved to Alabama.
When I first moved to Alabama, it was Ortiz. They actually spelled it Ortiz.
Well,
but I've gotten pretty much used to that.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about Social Security. What do you have to do to, now there's several benefits. We're going to start out talking about retirement benefits.
Yes, sir.
You and I both have acknowledged we get them now. Mm-hmm. We're old enough to get them.
Yes, sir.
Freeman, you don't get yours, and there's some question about how much you'll ever get. Anyway, what do you have to do to qualify for Social Security benefits?
In order to qualify for
you put number one chart up there if you would.
In order to qualify for Social Security benefits, you have to have a period of 10 years of credits, adding up to 40 quarters, meaning that in 10 years you will generate or accrue 40 quarters.
And you don't have to be consecutive.
It doesn't have to be consecutive.
You can work a while, break
Absolutely.
it, and come back.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And the earliest you could start drawing your Social Security benefits is at 62.
What's the consequence of that?
The consequence of that is if you receive your earnings statement every year, you'll notice that there is a full retirement age. If you start drawing your Social Security benefits earlier than your full retirement age, there is a reduction factor. The reduction factor is based on how many years did you start drawing your benefits before your full retirement age. And then that's according to the years that you have reduced benefits. That's also including how they total that. They'll include the highest 10 years of your working history, and that's how they pay your benefits.
So I believe I read recently that Social Security taxes are paid on incomes up to something a little over 100,000 a year.
That is correct. That is
So
correct.
the average worker is making 25, he pays full amount in.
Yes, sir.
But his benefit amount will be determined by how much he paid in.
Absolutely.
I wonder, can you pay extra if you want to? I
No,
never-
there is a cutoff. There is a cutoff for Social Security taxes. There is a cutoff.
Yeah.
I'm not. I don't remember right now the amount of cutoff. I believe it's 160,000 or something like that. They won't take no more Social Security taxes.
Now suppose somebody would makes 35,000 a year, and the normal tax rate is 6% or something like that, 6 point something percent for you and 6 point something percent of your employer. Am I right about that?
That is correct.
Suppose that I have a little extra money, and it's hard to see how you would have any extra at 35,000 a year. But instead of 6%, suppose I want to pay in 8%. Can I do that?
No, that's
won't-
strictly. It won't take it that way.
They won't
Nope.
allow you to do that.
They won't let you do that.
All right. Would
Did
you?
you say
And
that-
we've had those calls.
I bet.
We have had those calls where individuals say, well, can I make a check or contribute to my Social Security
Extra.
taxes or extra? And the answer to that is no, because there's already a fixed taxation on the books right now.
Did you say that the tax is only paid up to around or just over 100,000?
Yeah, I don't remember the total, but it's around 110 or
So
15,000.
the baseball player that makes 20 million doesn't pay anything after that initial
Not
amount?
after that, they won't.
He doesn't-
But you
I don't
have to
think
pay
he-
federal taxes.
I don't think, but he needs to.
Yeah.
He's got his own pension and profit sharing
Mm-hmm.
plans and KIOs and 401ks.
He might need to for
He doesn't
everybody
need 'em.
else.
Huh?
He might need to for everybody else if the program's going to be solved.
Well, that may be a solution. They're going to raise the income level people have to contribute. Now, that's coming. I can see it. And they're going to raise, one way they're going to raise taxes. And then the last resort, in my opinion, will be to reduce benefits. That's going to be the most politically touchy thing they could do. So raising taxes on somebody who makes 10 million or 20 million is not too tough.
Well, something I wanted to ask him that we talked about in the pre-interview was about that you've already mentioned briefly was how you file your taxes. Explain to the audience why it's important to file your taxes the right way.
Absolutely. The tax, when you report your taxes, that's what we use on Social Security to determine what your monthly benefits will be when you do retire. Now, if you don't file all your taxes properly and leave out certain income here and there, at the end of the time, at the end of your retirement or when you're ready to retire, you're going to see a very low check because you didn't file your taxes properly. So, good thing is, and a good advice is always advise yourself through your tax individual to make sure that you're getting the best for your benefits.
Yeah,
Okay?
let me ask you a question along the line, because I know people around here and other areas who are in some independent business of some sort, and they form an LLC. They may be an agent, and they do it in order so that the income comes to the LLC, and then they pay themselves dividends instead of income. And they don't pay any Social Security taxes. Isn't that a huge mistake?
Well, that is because remember, being a citizen of the United States, you could either get hurt, you will reach the age of 62.
You hope.
You hope to reach 62, and your comeback payment for Social Security benefits will either be reduced or none. So it's something to really take into consideration.
And I know there's other people we talked about earlier before the show started, that the little bitty entrepreneur or independent businessman who doesn't pay anything in, he pockets all of his money.
Yeah.
When he gets to retirement age, he's in trouble, isn't he?
Absolutely, they're in trouble. And then you'll see them calling, why is my check so little when so-and-so is higher than mine? And we did the same kind of work. Well, probably this other person reported their taxes like they're supposed to. And remember, when you get your earnings statement, that's based on earnings that you have accrued through that year.
And that you've reported.
Absolutely.
That's the key.
Absolutely.
Would you put that number 2 chart back up there quickly? I want to go back to the third and Well, now, the normal retirement age now is 66, and it goes up to 67 if you're born in 1960 or later, when you're full retirement age. But let's go to category number 3. Suppose you don't want to take your benefits at your full retirement age. What's the consequence of that for you?
Well, the consequence of that is that your Social Security benefits will be cut or reduced, okay? Meaning that when you receive your, again, you have to address yourself and look at your earnings statement that you get every year. You will see the total amount that you get on your full retirement age, so then you could get up to 34% of your Social Security versus your full
what
retirement.
You don't have to take your benefits at age 66, though. You can delay it.
You can delay
up
it,
to age
absolutely.
70.
Absolutely, you can.
And what happens if you delay it?
If you delay your Social Security benefits, you will get the highest total benefits that you could get or receive under Social Security law. And if you wait after 70, of course, there will be a payment, a retroactive payment for every month that you went without receiving your benefits at 70.
Okay, and I think each year you delay it goes up 8%.
Absolutely, sure does.
So you get a big benefit. That's better than you earn on your money in the bank right now.
Yes, sir.
All right, we are going to break now, and we'll be back in a couple of minutes with the third segment, and we'll continue our detailed discussion of Social Security benefits, most commonly asked questions coming up. See you in a couple of minutes. Welcome to our third and final segment tonight. We've been talking about something that really doesn't involve our law firm so much, and that's Social Security benefits, but we all have questions about that. Jose Ortiz, the T's, did I get it right?
Nope.
You know, I just don't have enough Spanish in me to get that right.
Well, it's supposed to be an Italian name.
Just kidding. Anyway, Jose, I got
3
that
for
right.
3.
Jose is really an expert on Social Security, having worked for him for a number of years, trained, and has been there answering the public's questions from year to year. In this third segment, we're going to talk about widows and remarrying and divorces and what that does to Social Security benefits. So if you put that third chart up there, Jose, let's take a look at this. Let's talk about when somebody passes and they've gotten their Social Security and they leave a widow. What does a widow get?
Well, they'll get the full benefits at the age of 65 through 67, of course, depending on their age.
What the full retirement age?
Exactly, with the full retirement age. And of course...
so let me interject this. If the man is drawing $1,000 or $2,000 a month in Social Security benefits, his wife is going to draw the same amount.
That's correct. That's the way it works.
All right. Now, what about children?
Children, if they're under the age of 18 and still in school, of course, they will receive a payment from Social Security on that record. Now, if they're 19, of course, you have to prove that they're still in school.
Yeah.
So there's a form that they need to request through Social Security Administration, and I'll give you that number right now. It's 1-800-772-1213, and or you could go into the Social Security website, and it has to be spelled out because I believe the SSA is no longer a valid transaction on the internet.
It's pretty easy to find.
It is very easy.
Google.
And it's a wealth of information for those individuals that really are venturing into the Social Security benefit. It's wide open, and it's a great source of information. Also, you can call that 800 number, and an agent will be happy to assist you for your request.
Let me give you a hypothetical. Let's suppose we have a man and a wife who are aged in their 40s. They got 2 children, and the man dies. He's not eligible for Social Security. The wife isn't either, is she?
No, not at that time.
How about the children?
The children are. Now, if there's children, surviving children of that marriage, of course they will receive a benefit under the age of 16. They will receive Social Security benefits under that record. Also, the mother, if she's not working and still providing support for that child under the age of 16, she could also receive a check under that record, and she doesn't have to meet the age requirement,
Okay, that's
which is
Does
that's
that
a
go
plus.
on until she passes as well?
No,
or is
until that child reaches age.
and then it stops?
Then it will stop. Now, consider this, that also there's children out there that are disabled and will
Continue for
continue
life.
to receive that for life.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, if that's the caregiver of that child, of course you'll receive a check.
Okay.
You see?
Let's put the chart back up there briefly, if you would, and we got 3 other categories. A lot of people want to know what happens if a spouse is divorced. Say a woman is married, she gets divorced. That happens a lot. 40% divorce rate in this county. And we've done a lot of them. Is she eligible for Social Security benefits? She's divorced.
Absolutely, she is. But she needs to meet these criteria. One is she had to be married to that number holder, which we call a number holder, at 10 years or more. And the individual should not be married before the age of 60
That's
You mean
now we-
remarried?
or remarried.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll put that up and do. Before we leave that, does the divorced spouse get 100% of her husband's benefits?
100% if she's of age, correct.
Of age?
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise reduced. Now, what happens if there's you alluded to it, but what happens if the divorced spouse, let's say it's a woman, and she remarries before she becomes the age of 60? Say she's 59 and she gets remarried. Is that a mistake?
That is a mistake.
Well,
That is
tell us
it
why.
is a mistake because 60 is the cutoff age to be entitled under that Social Security number or that number holder's number. One way that a lot of individuals that I've had calls on is, I'm about to get married and I'm 59 and a half. Well, ma'am, if you decide to get married at 59 and a half, mind you that your Social Security benefits will be canceled.
So basically,
Okay.
you could have if say that you have a married couple, they get divorced, the other one does not get remarried, and whoever that is that's worked has got a $2,500 a month benefit at full retirement age. The spouse that didn't work, would he or she still be entitled to that full
She would be.
$2,500 as well?
Absolutely.
So $5,000 would be paid out instead of
Yes,
just $2,500. What if
absolutely.
you stay married?
If you stay married to after 60,
Yeah, to say you've been married for 50 years. Only one person has worked, the other person hasn't worked. When they both hit full retirement age, let's say, can they both claim, or because the wife at that point didn't work, she's not eligible?
that would be a situation where if the person is, are you saying that the divorced spouse?
No, I'm saying I'm trying to figure out what's the difference between a divorced spouse and the married spouse.
The new wife.
No, the old wife.
Oh,
Say-
remarries.
No.
Okay. You
I'm
got us
saying,
both.
I'm saying, if you've never been divorced, what you've basically told us is this: if you get divorced and you don't remarry by the time you're 60, and the husband or the wife has worked and they get a $2,500 a month benefit, then you can also claim that $2,500 a month benefit so long as you haven't remarried.
As long as you haven't remarried, correct.
Let's say you never get divorced. Can you also make a claim?
Yes, you can.
You can.
Yes, you can. And also take into consideration that a lot of spouses that marry after the age of 60, guess what? Probably the present spouse is drawing more than what the other spouse is. So they'll switch over to that new spouse.
Well, you could have a man who's been married twice, and both his current spouse and his ex-spouse are drawing the same amount of benefits, or the benefits off of his number. As you
That
put
is
it.
correct. That is correct.
Now, let's bring up one last question I want to ask you. You've got a husband and wife who've both worked, are working, or both have worked. The wife can draw on her Social Security benefits, he can draw on his. But when he passes, what choices does the wife have?
The wife will automatically be converted over to the highest Social Security benefit at the time, meaning that if she's drawing on her own record, let's say that she's getting $800 a month, and he's getting $1,200 a month, it'll convert over to the highest Social Security benefits. Because usually at that time, they're either at age, you know, and they'll start receiving Social Security at that
While
age.
they're both living and both drawing, that's the best situation.
Yes, sir.
But when one passes, then it goes to the other one's
It goes
highest number.
automatically to the other. Now, I've also had calls of
have about 30 seconds left.
individuals that will receive their check at the time that the person dies, and they're wondering if they should return that check. No, don't return that check. Social Security will automatically adjust your Social Security benefits.
Good. All right. Jose Ortiz, I got it right this time.
Yes, sir.
Third time's a charm. Thanks for coming on tonight.
Well, it's been a pleasure.
And it was welcome to have him here and talk about Social Security benefits tonight. We'll see you next show. Thank you for watching.